Silence versus firepower. If society collapses, which one do you really need? On one side, you have the high-end PCP air rifle, a ghost in the machine that can feed your family without alerting the entire county. On the other, the legendary .22 long rifle, the king of utility, the backbone of American survival kits for a century. Look, most of you are instinctively betting on the gunpowder, but let's be real. That assumption might just be a fatal mistake. We are breaking down the silence, the power, and the logistics to find out which tool actually belongs in your go bag when the lights go out. This is the battle of the suburbs. Round 1. Stealth and the legal landscape.
Let's be real for a second. Everyone thinks a .22 long rifle is quiet, but send a standard velocity round downrange without ear protection, and that supersonic crack is sharp enough to alert everyone within a quarter-mile radius. That noise is a dinner bell for every threat in the area during a survival situation. Sure, you can buy a suppressor to tame that report, but now you are dealing with government registration, a $200 tax stamp, and a waiting list that lasts for months. It's a logistical nightmare just to save your hearing. Now look at a modern, high-end, pre-charged pneumatic air rifle. These machines utilize a fully integrated shroud and baffle system. This mechanism works by stripping away the turbulent air expanding behind the pellet and trapping it inside the barrel housing, effectively muting the acoustic signature. It snaps like a dry twig rather than banging like a firecracker. I have literally dropped pests in my backyard while my neighbor was washing his car 30 feet away, and he did not even turn his head. That is true invisibility. The deal breaker for the .22 here is the legal red tape. In most suburban environments, discharging a firearm is a fast track to a felony charge, meaning you cannot train where you live. But the air rifle? That is often classified as a pest control device, meaning your backyard is now your personal range. For the ability to train daily and hunt without announcing your position, the PCP takes this round easily.
Round 2. Power and the long game. Now we get serious. Stealth is a massive advantage, but eventually you need to reach out and touch something. This is where the .22 long rifle stops playing games and starts doing work. We are talking about raw energy transfer. A standard high-velocity .22 cartridge utilizes a Rimfire primer and chemical propellant to generate chamber pressures exceeding 24,000 pounds per square inch. This violent expansion drives a 40-grain projectile at supersonic speeds, allowing it to punch through bone and tissue effectively at 100 yards. It delivers a kinetic slap that shuts down small game instantly. Contrast that with the air rifle. Here's the ugly truth that the fanboys will not tell you. The external ballistics of a pellet are frustrating. Because pellets are drag stabilized and lightweight, they bleed energy rapidly. Past 50 yards, the trajectory arcs like a mortar round. You're forced to memorize complex holdover charts just to connect with a target at distance. If you misjudge the range by 5 yards, you miss entirely. Plus, the wind pushes those light pellets around like a bully in a schoolyard. The .22 cuts through the wind with authority. For putting food on the table reliably from a distance or purely for defensive capability, the powder burner takes the crown here. The air rifle is a scalpel, but the 22 is a sledgehammer. Winner, 22 long rifle. Round 3, the logistics and the nightmare of maintenance. Listen, amateurs talk about ballistics, but professionals talk about logistics. This is where the fantasy of the air rifle starts to crumble. On the surface, the air rifle seems superior because pellets are dirt cheap and weigh almost nothing. You can stack thousands of them in a tin for the cost of a fast food lunch. But here is the massive deal breaker that nobody mentions until it's too late: the power source. A pre-charged pneumatic rifle is useless without high-pressure air. That means you're tethered to a heavy scuba tank or a manual hand pump. I saw a guy at a training course try to fill a reservoir with a hand pump in 90-degree heat, and he physically tapped out before the gun was even half full. Mechanically, these guns rely on a complex series of polyurethane O-rings and a delicate regulator stack to manage 3,000 pounds per square inch of pressure. If a single 10-cent O-ring dries out or cracks, that expensive rifle becomes a glorified paperweight. You cannot scavenge air rifle parts in a collapse. Now look at the 22 long rifle. The ammo is heavier, sure, but a standard blowback action is so simple that you can clean it with motor oil and a shoelace. There are no seals to blow out, there are no tanks to hydro test. The only real flaw is that rimfire ammo runs dirty, leaving carbon grit in the receiver, and you'll get the occasional dud round due to inconsistent priming compound in the rim. But clearing a dud takes 1 second. Fixing a blown air seal takes a workbench and a prayer.
We have looked at the silence, the power, and the reality of keeping these machines running. For a strict, static backyard pest control scenario where neighbors are the enemy, the PCP air rifle is a ghost. It wins the battle of stealth. But for a true suburban survival scenario where you might have to leave your home, the winner is the 22 long rifle. When the chips are down, complexity is the enemy of survival. You need a tool that feeds on ammo found in every hardware store in America and keeps running when it is wet, muddy, and neglected. Silence is a luxury, but reliability is a necessity. Don't be a victim. Get prepared.